We have sort of a problem here.
Why the LinkedIn passive aggressiveness is useless in Venezuela. Today we discuss.
That would be great.
Welcome to Venezuela Insider, the only place in Venezuela for expats, digital nomads, entrepreneurs, investors, travelers, and related internationals. For more information, venezuelainsider.com.
I hope this video finds you well because today we are going to discuss why this corporative, this LinkedIn attitude and dichotomy, usually that comes from corporative America, is completely useless in Venezuela. And this sounds crazy coming from me that I have a consulting business with a holistic approach, and it gives me cringe every time that I have to say that, but it is what it is. Okay, so basically, if you're watching this, you have any kind of experience in corporative, a big four consulting firm, or a Fortune 500 company, you develop your career, in the office, in executive charges, C-suite, and that kind of stuff. And you know that it's a lot of things that comes with the business. I'm talking the emails, the passive aggressiveness on the emails, and also all of these corny publications on LinkedIn, like what making cookies with my grandma taught me about teamwork, or what playing basketball in high school teach me about leadership, or getting kidnapped by aliens taught me about human resources, and even what proposing to my fiance taught me about B2B sales. And by the way, the last one is actually true. Well, you know the point. All of this corniness about corporative America that could be cringe-worthy and lead to higher ending rates. And it's a funny thing because it's part of the experience if you are on these kind of works. And maybe if your experience comes from, trade school, blue-collar professionals, and that kind of thing, of course, you are most likely are going to be safe on that particular regard. But in cases like myself, that, of course, I have experience with that, I'm going to tell you why it's useless in Venezuela. Okay, now, why this particular dichotomy, this particular paradigm of, corporative America is not going to work in Venezuela, actually can be counterproductive. The issue is that if you're watching this, of course, from the United States, from Canada, from UK, Australia, and New Zealand, a couple of places on the European Union, this information is actually what happens is that if you want to be somebody in life, you want to be financially successful and get things done in life, and I'm not saying it's completely useless, basically you have two choices. You either go with the traditional route, you go to college, maybe afterwards get an MBA, and then you can get, be an intern in any company or anything like that thing, then work very hard in order to get an entry-level job, making, if you're in the US, making something like $57K per year, and afterwards, a couple of years afterwards, you make 75, and then 83, and then you reach the six-figure mark, and along the way, also, you have a match for your 401k, your IRA, and eventually, of course, you're going to build wealth, but with a trade-off that is, for the soul is dead by 1,000 cuts. Meanwhile, the other choice is just becoming an entrepreneur and working very, very, very hard and very unlikely, but you're going to make things of your own, and eventually you might become, financially successful. But you do it in your own pace, but it's way less likely statistically in order for that to happen. Now, the issue here in Venezuela, on a lesser degree in the rest of Latin America, is that in Venezuela, since let's say 10, 12 years ago, we don't have the choice. If you want to be financially successful in Venezuela, you have to do it 100% of your own. There are way less synergy opportunities, and getting a corporate career is basically a dead end in Venezuela because salaries are very, very, very low. We have decent salaries actually on a very niche market, usually on oil, but also could be or kind of white collar profession, like working for a big four company, let's say, just an example. But most likely you won't find those jobs or opportunities because they're very, very hard to come by, just a handful of opportunities, and usually are granted through nepotism. The end result is that you are not going to get anything in life, at least here in Venezuela, pursuing this kind of a particular, dichotomy of, sending your email and sending your CV via emails to a bunch of companies and going on networking events and that kind of good things. Most likely 99% of cases that won't happen. And actually it's more safe since the past 7 or 8 years to actually become an entrepreneur instead of working in any kind of corporate environment. So if you come in here to the country, let's say you want to do business. And actually, on a way lesser degree, we have the same dichotomy regarding how you should address the corporate thing, handing your calling card and, sending the emails. Actually, I have to train people here in the country regarding how to send emails, I hope this email finds you well, key performance indicators, circle that, a holistic approach, and sincerely yours. I have to train people actually to speak just a little bit about that and actually translate for them how that actually works when they get emails. I'm talking people here in Venezuela that actually speaks good English, but they don't have that corporative, experience. And they say, well, these people are crazy. Why they talk like that? Well, that's how they talk in corporative America, in corporative Europe, in corporative UK. And okay, it's a funny thing, it's a cultural difference that just has to be, analyzed and get the best of both worlds. So if you are trying to do business or networking with Venezuelans and you do it with this particular approach, by the way, I mentioned this a bunch of times that Venezuelans give a lot of leeway to internationals regarding, the interactions, but still, don't push it. And one of the things that internationals sometimes they push is using this tactical LinkedIn or corporative mumbo jumbo. Like let's connect, let's, they send emails and messages on LinkedIn, on social media. I have a bunch of those once in a while on my particular DMs. Anyways, and it's funny. Of course, this is, just giving some advice on how you can actually get things done on that particular regard, because it's not that you're going to come here doing networking unless you have some value to provide. You're in a certain position. If you come from a lower level position and the only game that you have is the LinkedIn game, it's going to fail miserably. I can tell you, Venezuelans, something that Venezuelans are very good. The average Venezuelan is a great networker, but you have to do it from a sincere standpoint regarding that. Don't try to do this, how this email finds you well, or this particular dichotomy using LinkedIn cliches, because it's not going to work. You're going to look weird and you're going to look desperate. For instance, here in Venezuela, you can do a better networking in front of a liquor store that going on this particular corporative networking events that actually we don't have that much, and the few cases that we have it usually are for particular industries, and so it's not the same. It doesn't work the same. And still, you can take your shot if you find one of these particular, events and conferences and seminars and symposiums. You can do it. I'm not saying don't take a shot over there, but most cases it's not going to be as useful as doing actual networking with actual people from a sincere standpoint. That's going to take you way far than doing it just this basic LinkedIn corniness. Well, now you know how to be a little bit better doing networking here in Venezuela without the LinkedIn corniness. And well, sincerely yours, I hope this information provides value for you.
Thank you for watching Venezuela Insider. Please like, share, and subscribe. Follow us on social media. If you want to work with us, VenezuelaInsider.com. Thanks again and have a nice day.